in my campaign, I'm not going to be talking a lot about climate. Why is that? Because climate has become a crisis like COVID that the Davos group and other totalitarian elements in our society have used as a pretext for clamping down totalitarian controls.
But isn't that even more of a justification, if you think that, isn't that even more of a justification for you to argue in favor of an approach that doesn't result in the totalitarianism that you're fearful of?
Exactly. So, and I've always said, I've always been cautious about leaning on scientific evidence for climate because, and the reason is it's not persuasive to people who don't want to believe it. I worked for commercial fishermen on the Hudson River for most of my career and all across the country. They love the environment. Most Republicans love the environment. If you tell them you're going to protect this place, this sacred place, your backyard, the water for your children, you're going to protect against toxicity, they're all in. It should not be a divisive issue. The environment should not be a divisive issue.
I understand what you're saying.
But it's hard to persuade people that lines on a graph that say that sometime in the future you're going to suffer. Take my word for it.
Right.
And I want you to give up these things in your life. It just, all it's going to do is polarize people more. But what the argument I've always made is that all of the things that we need to do, whether you believe in climate change or not, you don't have to. And I'm not going to argue with you if you don't believe in it. But all the things we need to do to avert climate change, we ought to be doing anyway to avert war. You know, the oil wars that have cost us $8 trillion since 2002, the poisoning of every fish in America, the toxicity to our children, the asthma attacks, the ozone and particulates, the sterilizing of the lakes on the Appalachian. These are all things that everybody's concerned about. And those are the things that I think we can get a consensus on rather than, and we're not going to get a consensus on climate. And climate using, the approach that we've been using up until now has stalled. And if the solutions, which are to get everybody to sign treaties and have unenforceable milestones that they have to meet that nobody can enforce, that everybody can lie about, and that become an excuse for clamping down totalitarian controls on people are things that are going to get a lot of pushback. If you talk to people about pollution and let's switch to something that's more efficient, that's going to provide jobs, that's going to give us a new industry and economic growth, that's something that I think, we can unite people on rather than divide them.